Hello, and welcome to Conversations Worth Your While, a show in which I chat with authentic, heart centered experts about interesting topics to spark, inspire, and motivate both personal and professional change. Today, we have quite a conversation for you. We're talking about the biggest lie standing in the way of your natural success. And this conversation is worth your while if you're burned out from overcompensating, from striving, from feeling victimized, and from chasing success. Because what if I told you that you are wired for success, but you're out of alignment because natural success isn't achieved by doing, it's achieved by how you're doing what you're doing. So stay tuned because this is going to be a wonderful conversation. I am Linda Bucher. I'm a transformational speaker and a master certified life coach. And after striving and being burned out and feeling victimized for, oh my God, like my whole life and living the life of a chameleon, I finally discovered who I am. And I connected with my passion and my purpose and reinvented my life, right? To just work all around that. But most importantly, now I can confidently unleash my gifts to the world. And it's my honor and privilege to help you do the same because you have a rich, full life to live and you have important gifts to give to the world and you have a splash to make. And we're going to be talking today about what that's going to take to be able to do, because that is part of your natural success. So today I have the pleasure of being joined by Sly Haché, and he is of nextlevelpublicspeaking.com. And Sly is making big, beautiful ripples in the world. He helps honest people to become more confident and more persuasive so that they can make money while making a difference in the world. I mean, like, woo, if that sounds good to you, you're going to love Sly. Sly, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks, Linda. Happy to be here.
Awesome. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you do and how you do it, how you're making these beautiful ripples?
Oh, the 15-second skit is easy because I know people don't like these long intros. I basically help people make six-figure days from the stage. Step one, create a six-figure day offer. Step two, become a rock star speaker so you can communicate the value of that offer and then close that offer on stage to make six-figure days. Simple.
That's very beautiful. Okay, great. So let's start with the conversation. Let's start with this, burnout, right? Overcompensating, overdoing, feeling victimized, chasing success. I know we each probably have a story
Mhm.
like that. Would you like to share yours?
Well, mine, like the classic corporate zombie, drugged out of my mind. I had to drug myself in the morning to get, well, not drug to get myself to work, but coming from work, I would have to do drugs in the parking lot to wash that away from me. Corporate for me was not the place to be. Working in the high-rise towers with one of the big five banks, and then the thing is, Linda, I had achieved everything society told me I needed to achieve to be happy. You need a good job, check. You need good women, check. You need a nice place to live, check. Two cars, check. Set for life. Great relationships with the president. The future was traced, yet totally miserable, drugged out of my mind. Alcohol, drugs, cigarette, and a bunch of nasty habits. One night after supper, I'm there sitting, head in my like this. And I think to myself, there has to be more to life than this. This can't be it. I've done everything, chasing my tail like a maniac. I don't believe it. And I stopped believing one of the lies right there. What happened next, Linda, is even a bit too much to explain on a podcast like this. I don't know if you want me to continue now or let's switch to your story. What's your story on how did you become aware of that? But let's go with you first.
Okay. And you know what? It's almost identical. So, same thing. I had climbed the corporate ladder to a certain level, wearing the power suits, having a nice office, feeling important, feeling valued, great relationship again with the president, writing speeches for them, even like doing a lot of really important things in that company. I had a house at the beach. I had a house that I owned. We were in the process of buying another house, bigger, better, beautiful, up leveled house. I have three wonderful children. I was, you know, basically I had nothing to ask for. Like what else, right? And yet I was gapingly unfulfilled. And it made me feel guilty. Like there's so many people in this world that have nothing. I have everything. And I'm feeling so unfulfilled. Like, what is wrong with me? Like, Linda, can't you be happy with what you have? And it was like, I felt really guilty. But what happened is you spend a little too long going in the wrong direction. Either bad habits happen, like with you, or with me, my body started to rebel. So I started having a lot of physical difficulties, muscular difficulties, I couldn't digest life. My digestive system was not working very well. I couldn't sleep or sit for more than about 15 minutes at a time and have to move because I was in physical pain. So I was like, not just unfulfilled at this like soul level, but physically in pain. And I knew something had to give. And I remember the day I said out loud to nobody, because nobody was home when I said it, I said, this is not the life I meant to live. I don't know what it is, but it sure as hell ain't this one. It's not this.
Not
And
that.
I knew there was something more for me, but you know what I didn't know? That I was meant for something more. Bigger than me. So it was just like, when you get to this point, this breaking point, this turning point, that is like magical. And I mean, if we can affect that for somebody today, woo, that would be amazing. So back to you, Sly. Tell us a little more.
Well, you knew you were meant for something, you didn't know what it was. At that moment, if somebody would have, and when I asked, it was not a ask, not a prayer. It was like a statement. It was kind of like a statement, like there has to be more to life than this. This is my alarm here. A lightning rod, Linda, not a physical one, people. A metaphysical and metaphorical lightning rod hit me like literally, I saw light inside. It took about 15 years for it to cross my brain and exit from here. That somebody told me what would have happened as a result of this. Drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, and a bunch of bad habits. The next day, started waking up at 6 a.m., sitting cross-legged, alternate nostril breathing, Kundalini yoga exercises, stop drugs, stop alcohol, stop all the other bad habits. Turned into an entrepreneur, creating messages for, like all the self-help gurus. They would come to us. We had a business. I would just write their message on the spot. I would create the messaging for them to sell their products and services. And then my mentor told me, what's wrong? And I almost became a monk, Linda. I was considering monkhood, meditating 12 hours a day sometimes. My mentor told me, what's wrong with you, idiot? You're not a monk. You're a rock star. Oh, yeah, I've forgotten about that. So then I went and toured internationally, then made albums. I have songs on the radio, toured then national here in all the biggest shows. Then I started coaching musicians on how to not suck on stage, how to have presence on stage. And then my mentor told me again, what's wrong with you, idiot? Don't teach musicians how to not suck on stage. Teach business people how to not suck on stage. There you go. So then I turned my yearly income into my monthly income and created a new public speaking system, teaching business people how to rock the stage using the messaging algorithm I had created for building messages on the spot for all these self-help gurus. And you don't know this, Linda, I don't think I told you, I'm an ex-chronic stutterer. I could not speak before.
Wow.
No sound would come out of my face. So using the getting over yourself and the internal tools to undent your sense of self to speak with confidence, combine that together. That's what happened after that question.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Oh my gosh, this is fantastic. Okay, Sly, let's move to the biggest lie because you've just set us up to move right into that. That's what people are probably, whoever's listening, you guys are like, what is the biggest lie? What's in the way of my natural success? I want to know right now so I can stop lying to myself. Um, so I'm going to let you start because you and I were aligned with this one for sure.
So Linda, I don't know if you guys know, Linda told me she has a product. She's written about this as well. The move from being a victim to a creator. The life happens to you versus you making stuff happen. The biggest lie you ever bought is pre-verbal. It's at the presupposition level. So it's as if people think, okay, here I am. Let's take me for an example, chronic stutterer. Here I am, shy, caved in, dented, not confident. Or you're thinking maybe, I can't do this. I'm not good enough. I'm too small. And then there's so much overcompensation, and you're striving for a goal. Every year, you write down your goals. Okay, I got this year's going to be the year. Then that's your birthday. Okay, you write your goals again. The presupposition is I am not that thing or that I'm trying to achieve. I am small, puny, worthless, secretly inside. You don't say that publicly, of course, but that's kind of like the presupposition at the energy level. And then you're striving for that thing. And the biggest lie is that you think that this is your natural state. You think that this is like when somebody says, I am, that's the verb to be. So being verbs are like everywhere. So it's like a statement of about reality itself. I am that little small thing, and I'm trying to become this other thing. That's the biggest lie. Because in truth, this is your natural state, but it's been beaten out of you, kicked out of you, and squeezed out of you. And now you end up with what you got there, and you're trying to become back. It's just remembering and coming back to your true self, which is already beyond all that suffering. That is the biggest lie. And this is where you can start having fake confidence. Here you have to kind of puff your chest up and fake it till you make it, where you realize, no. This is the natural. This here's natural. This is normal, Linda. This is normal in society, you see? So the difference between normal and natural is what is one of the things that causes burnout, stress, overcompensating, fishing for compliments, trying to be loved, feeling small, and trying to climb up and push up to get to where you already are if you only just drop the limitations.
Very beautifully said. And 100%. I have a framework that I use in all my coaching with all my clients, and I throw it out there. It's on my website. It's not a secret. and the very first thing is to know your worth. And I don't mean know it cerebrally. I mean know it at a guttural cellular level. And it really is to feel your worth. When you recognize just how worthy you are, that nothing you do could ever detract from that worthiness. You were born 1,000% worthy, and worthiness is not achievable and it's not degradable. It just is. And it's not, it's a way of, it's just not your birthright. It's not a right. It's just, it is. It's just a fact. You are born 1,000% worthy. And if you don't believe me, look at any brand new infant, like hours old. How worthy is that child of love, affection, attention? 1,000 bazillion %. So they didn't earn it, but it is. So at the very beginning and the basis of my framework is to know your worth. And I start there because you cannot achieve success if you don't know your worth, because you're going to be going about it the wrong way. Like you said, you're going to be trying to be a people pleaser. You're going to be striving. You're going to be overcompensating and overdoing. And we do that because we're trying to prove to others and to ourselves that we're worthy, because we don't really know. So that's why I start right there. That is the basis, to know your worth. When you start there, now you can do what you and I have done. If we continue on our stories, what we did at that turning point is we started to begin to know our worth, and then we could become clear on our purpose, because that's where, like, our gifts are given to us for a purpose. So we have to become clear on our purpose. And then the next part of the framework is to harness your gifts and own your power. Like, now that you know it, you're like, what? Right? And you're helping people do that one way. I'm helping people do that another way. The next stage is to align your energy and direction with who you are. So you got to align it all. And you and I, in our old jobs, we were each out of alignment. We didn't know who we were. We didn't know what our gifts were. We didn't know how powerful we were. We didn't know what our purpose was. Now that we get there, now we're like, oh, now I can align my energy and my direction with who I am and what I'm here for. And then finally, which we're each also doing, you're taking people through my same framework. You just do it a different way, is to free yourself from all these obstacles that want to hold you back. And this lie of I am not this person and I am that person, that is just a lie that we are telling ourselves to try to prove our worth. So if we can start with that, knowing your worth, feeling it at that cellular level, everything else will come into alignment. This is how we discover our natural success.
Because the truth is, like, beliefs and thoughts affect us, but not as much as values. So values affect us more than beliefs and thoughts. You know, like values like family or health, or think if you value something. But drivers affect us way more than values. Drivers are like sex drive, survival drive, status drive, survive. All these are drives. These are pre-verbal. Uh, it's baked in the nervous system. Drive. This affects us more than values, more than emotions and thoughts. But nothing affects us more than identity. Identity is kind of like a one-piece suit you wear. So you step into that thing, and then you go and live out into the world with that Halloween costume. So if you are to do any type of internal work, don't mess with thoughts, beliefs, and feelings and values. And maybe drives will get you somewhere. And by the way, if you can tie your offers to the drive that are inherent in the marketplace already, you have winning offers. As a side note, but for you, you go one level deeper at the identity level and work at that level to free yourself from those limitations. You'll find you kind of hit everything else in one fell swoop.
Yes, absolutely. That's why we start there. Who am I? Right. And how worthy am I? 1000%. That's exactly. And this, because we have these identity shifts that we go through when big changes happen in our life, right? You get married, you get divorced, you move to another city, you buy another house, you have a child, you change careers. These are big things that are threats to our identity. And so that's why uncertainty is so hard for us. But when we know our true identity, our base identity, outside of our roles, outside of our responsibilities, outside of our titles, totally severed from our amount of money that we make, when you know that true sense of identity, then that's something you can always rely on. The natural states that you have, your natural values, your natural proclivities. This is where the true you lies. And I loved what you said a few minutes ago about it's not about finding and seeking and going out there. It's about coming back to who you are. We are probably our earliest memories of who we are and what we loved. Sometimes I'll tell my clients as a little homework, I'll say, ask your parents to tell you about your 4-year-old self, because you need to get to know her or him, because that was before all the social norms and expectations were put on you, right? That's like your true identity was, you had that when you were 4 and you were probably letting that little person out, So it's like, it's really about coming back to yourself, which is such a beautiful thing. So, Sly, what can people do right now? We just touched on this concept of natural success. So talk a little bit more about that. And then what can we do right now? Just something that a listener could do, not a big, long, giant thing, right? Just something they could do right now to move into their natural success.
It's not even a decision. It's not a meditation. It's not an exercise, but it can be done in the space of a nap, Linda. It's a realization. Now, I wish I had a magic wand and I could just give realizations away. I mean, come on now. Okay? But I can't do that. If you're close to the boiling point, if you're at the space where I was, or the space Linda was, which there was a hole in her, there's ABBA's got a song, there's got to be rock and roll to fill the hole in my soul. So she had a hole in her soul, and then the hole was plugged with guilt on top of that. You can sit down, you can lie down, Take a few breaths, relax your shoulders, and release your foot from the brake. Release the handbrake internally. You're trying to, there's pressures inside, and you're trying to hold it all together, trying to keep a straight face because you got to show a certain face. Do that at work. Don't put yourself in any compromising situation, but internally at home with the doors locked, take a moment to unscrew the lid off the pressure cooker for a while and let it run out and see what comes out.
Mm, I love that. Yeah. It's like a lot of times when I'm working with clients, then they took a long time to come and see me. And it's because they said, in order to get where I want to be, I tell them, you're going to have to discover who you are. And they're like, but what if I don't like who I find? So, and what's worse is, what if the people who I love don't like who I find, right? What if they don't like the new me? What if that's a threat to my relationships? So it's really scary to do that. So I love that you're saying, just like, lock the doors or whatever, and just kind of find your true self. But you can probably back me up. I will guarantee every single person listening to this, that if you discover who you are, you will love who you find. You will love that person. That person is the natural person that was put here on this earth for a reason. And there's so much beauty inside each of us, and our natural proclivities, and that is who we're meant to be. And you just got to try it on a little at a time. And you can ask yourself, like I'll ask, what are you doing when you feel the most you? Like, it's such a great question. And then, is it safe? Because people don't want to do it because it doesn't feel safe. It's so scary to let your true self out, right? Like, well, when you let your true self out, why was that safe to do it then? Was it the person you're with? Was it the thing you were doing? So we try to discover how being their true selves is a safe place. And then they can do it a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. It's such a beautiful awakening. I went through it. You went through it. I guarantee anyone doing it, it's so not scary. It's like a beautiful blossoming.
Every avatar, spiritual teacher, enlightened sage, and authentic guide throughout history and all time, as where did they point you at all times? People, you're listening to this. Did they point you this way, or did they point you this way? So one of the lies is that you have to run out there to try to get something. You already are that.
Mhm.
You've been hypnotized into believing you're a small little thing.
Mm.
When you go back inside, you connect to what is doing the looking. Think of it as a flashlight. Your flashlight is looking everywhere. You stop, and the flashlight turns on itself, and you realize, I am the light that was shining it to the whole time. No matter I could never find myself, I am the light shining on that thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a beautiful feeling. There's a song by Michael Franti that I love, and it's called Soul Shine. And when I was first going on my own transformational journey to discover who I am and what I'm all about, and what I'm here to do, my purpose, that I felt so, I was like, I still feel it. Like, I would listen to that song so many times, because I'm like, that I finally feel the shine of my soul. I feel soul shiny. Like, it was such a beautiful thing and such a contrast to how I didn't, I hadn't felt that ever in my whole life. And to finally get there, I was like, oh, and now this is just a way of being for me. And this is what I wish for people. And so, just to recap what we've talked about today, the very biggest lie that's keeping you from your natural success is you not knowing your worth, is you believing you can't be this, or you're not that, or that you are this, something people have told you. And if you can just get quiet and connect with the who of you, and just enjoy it's like a discovery, and enjoy that discovery. I promise it's super enjoyable. So we're really talking about discovering just how worthy you've always been, and you always are, and you always will be. And from there, you can get your gifts out into the world. Now I want to move into what Sly has, we didn't talk about it in the context of public speaking, but this is in the context of anything, your relationships, your career, public speaking. You really have to connect with the who of you, because that's where your natural success, that's the only place your natural success can come from. So, Sly, we talk a little bit about how we each are here for a purpose, right? We've got something to give to the world. We've got a message, right? And everybody in some way needs to be a public speaker. They need to give their message. Maybe their message is for their community or for their family or for their church or in their business, right? You and I, we have messages. We're getting them out to the world through my podcast and your work. So what do you have? Like, I know you got something really good for our audience. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Public speaking is simple, and thus anytime you have to speak to more than 3 people at once.
Mm.
Business people are great one-on-one calibrators. You say a line, you check how the person responds, eye dilation, eye movements, how they breathe, how they stand, they lean in, they lean back, what's going on. And you can say, when they're saying certain words, you can feel, okay, this word is charged. When you say it back, you can feel the response. Easy. We do that all day. 2-on-1, you can still do this because as you watch, you're saying this, you can watch, okay, the other person, you can try the calibration for sales. 3 people at once, you're screwed because then your calibration mechanism's out the window.
Mm.
That's where you need different ways of crafting your message. 30 people, you're screwed. 300, 3,000 people, you can't wrestle 3,000 people with your energy. So I teach people how to go outside of what I call office-itis or cubicle-itis. This is a subject for another day. I like Linda so much. We have a free masterclass called Monetize Your Message Masterclass. You're going to learn how to create 6-figure day offers, how to communicate the value of your offers and close them from the stage. So you have the confidence to be who you are. Then, not in a cheesy way, you actually start thinking about helping people in the marketplace by creating offers and services and ideas and making the world a better place. But remember that you can't be a lighthouse if you can't keep the lights on. So we
Right.
help you make money when you speak and eventually money when you sleep. So there's going to be a link in the show notes.
Mhm.
Linda prepays for the masterclass for you guys. So there's a link. Whatever the price is, the prices changes depending on the marketing test. Whatever the price is, you put in Linda's code, type it in, price goes down to 0. Come to the masterclass, learn how to create 6-figure day offers and communicate them with confidence on stage. A gift from Linda.
And also very generous of you to have created such a wonderful thing. So
Love
thank
it.
you so much. I will definitely get that into the show notes. That is wonderful. And also, Sly, I'm going to put in there your contact information because I'm sure there's so many people that, would love to contact you and connect with you. This is not the first time I've talked with you. First time on my podcast, hopefully not the last, because we could probably talk about so many things. But you are a light in this world, and you are helping people to discover and shine their lights, which is such a beautiful thing. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for being such a wonderful and generous guest on my podcast. I definitely appreciate it very much. So that is our show, everybody. Once again, I'm Linda Bucher, a transformational speaker and master certified life coach. You know what? I'm on a mission to inspire and impact millions of people to know their worth and share their gifts, deliberately creating big, beautiful ripples in this world. So if you feel stuck or unworthy or unfulfilled or out of alignment, you got to find me at lindabucher.com. And I'd like to thank Sly, and I'd like to thank you, devoted listener. You're a lifelong learner, and you're sharing your time with us today. So thank you so much. And until next time, please subscribe and make sure that you've made this conversation worth your while by fueling the spark that it ignited.